Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Chase, and I have been catching up on my reading for the whole weekend, and it's actually been really cool. I spent hours reading comic books yesterday. What an awesome day. I mean, when you think about it, if I could just chill, read and write comics for the majority of my day every weekend, boy, that would be great. So I've had an awesome weekend already, and man, I love this book. This is really good. There's so much to say about this book specifically, so I'm actually going to go off on tangents on a couple of other books because I'm talking about a lot of concepts here that I've been thinking about a lot. Because when you're doing single issues, it's important to get some of the just basics down, right? So this has every single avenue covered of what a good book should be, right? So Miller, I almost said Mark Millar. Damn it, Zach. So his name is pronounced Mark Miller, and and even the art is incredible for this. Mark Miller doing the writing. I almost said Mark Millar again. Matteo Scalera, Marcelo Maiolo. I am just butchering that on colors. And of course, hey, this is an Image book. That means that it is creator owned. So Mark Miller owns the rights to this property, and he got it optioned to Netflix. So this is actually going to be a TV show, and from what I can tell, it's going to be a freaking awesome TV show. It goes through every single avenue of show don't tell, and it is the perfect example of how books should be written with cause and effect. Everything has a reason for things occurring, and the future all builds from things that have happened in the plot already. And we start out in the very beginning. And look, there is no need for a little intro with a whole bunch of words trying to explain what happens at the very beginning of this book because it tells it all in the very first picture. Perfect example of show don't tell. You see a cruise ship in space, and it's called the Lionel Richie, and it even has a gargantuan head ornament of Lionel Richie. And you're like, wow, this is clearly going to be a futuristic 80s book because of what this says here. It says the 80s didn't reach the Midwest until the 90s. Think how long they took to get into space. Fantastic. It sets the scene. It shows you why the scene is being set that way. It continues, it says, in case you're wondering, it's our wedding anniversary, miss. And she says, everyone else is on their honeymoon here, but we're both celebrating 600 happy years. This is the very route to our own cruiser took, but Lionel Richie wasn't born yet, of course. This old couple talking about their lives. And then immediately the action sets in, and she says, oh, I'm afraid I don't have a young man, ma'am. I'm actually the boss of a crew of bandits, and I'm only here to commit a robbery. I've got a pet lizard contaminating the air supply, and you're all about to fall unconscious very soon. The old guy says, not sure I get the joke, miss. I am absolutely serious. And it shows all of her bandit friends closing in on their little speed cruisers in space. That's fantastic. This is a great intro, and it lets you know exactly what this book is going to be about. Hey, we're committing robberies in space. We're space pirates in the 80s. How freaking cool is that? Now, okay, it's going to take a pause from this incredible Mark Miller book. I almost said Mark Millar again. And I'm going to talk about what not to do. So this is Kelly Thompson is the writer. Who cares who's doing the art here? Okay, I'll tell you. Danielle Nenukualo, color artist by Triona Farrell. I can't pronounce anyone's names. So this is a very good example of how not to write 500,000 words on your intro page, because nobody cares. So let me tell you about West Coast Avengers number 7. Kate Bishop, aka Hawkeye, has recruited a team to protect the vulnerable West Coast, but funding it came with a catch. They all had to move in together and let a film crew follow them around. The villains of California aren't exactly tickled that a new super team has sprung up in their backyard, and Kate's old nemesis, Madame Mask, has taken it upon herself to what the hell? Why? There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason to have 1,000 words on an intro when you can just simply show the audience what's going on, right? You don't have to tell them a bunch of things. But look, here you have Kate Bishop, aka Fake Hawkeye, telling everybody about everything. No showing. She's just this whole entire page is just faces talking and telling you about their feelings and what's happened. So for this, by the way, this is the first page of a comic book. This is what not to do. So you've been undercover pretending to be Graviton, which is really weird choice, and working with Mask because of something unrelated to this Thunderdome nonsense. Some kind of machine is transmitting a sound that is limiting access to my powers. My team is captured. Others have been sent to round me up, and won't already. First 2 pages is just a smorgasbord of horrible writing. Immediately, it just pushes that. This is the difference between writing well and, writing garbage. And I can't imagine Kelly Thompson ever getting optioned for anything, because she writes like a 5-year-old is going to read it and try to be like, oh, this is what it's like to be a teenager. It's like she's teaching adolescent children how to become weirdo, California kind of surfer girls, I don't know, that's at least what it sounds like. Tangent way too far, guys. I want to continue with this book, and I don't want to show too much, but look, it shows this woman getting scorned, and I mean, they literally double cross her, beat the living hell out of her, and throw her out of what looked like an airlock, but it's not an airlock. She's actually still inside the ship, and crumbled right there. And then they pour one out, for her. And I'm saying, these guys, these macho jerks, of course, just leave her there. And it picks up again. That's kind of the half point. So it starts this other storyline. And these girls, their paths are going to cross. And it's like I said, this is a very female empowering, go girl kind of storyline. But it's done in such a way that it has really good storytelling. You see this guy, he's bringing this girl in for a bounty, and he says, all's fair in love and war, baby. Cash only, if you don't mind. And so it actually shows them, and it looks like they've done this scam a whole lot. It shows her with great ferocity attacking these guys that were holding her captive after she'd been turned in for the bounty. And then you find out, and look, this is the perfect page, because there's very little said. There are 5 word bubbles, and some of them are only sound effects. So this is an amazing example of show, don't tell. It is showing her just karate chopping all their asses, and that's exactly what's going on. And then you see her escape. They said, there's a ship out there. She's going to escape. Here's that picture you wanted, by the way. They wanted to take a selfie with her because she is a famous criminal. She jumps all the way to her getaway ship, and it was the guy that was turning her in for the bounty that catches her. And you find out, hey, they're pulling a scam. They are pulling a scam. And she said, I love you, ego lust. Same back at you, 10%, girl of mine. So he's doing well, making a lot of money for himself, turning her in consistently, making more money off of it. And she goes on to kind of explain, hey, I think you're using me, and of course he is. Of course he is. He's the scammer. He's the Han Solo kind of scoundrel, only he's really a bad guy. I'm not going to get into the rest of this. There is a surprise ending. It feels like Kill Bill, kind of vengeance style comic book film that's going to come out of this. It was really, really good. I cannot praise this enough. I think that Mark Millar is probably one of the best comic book writers that I've ever read. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear kind of your perspective on it. Real quick before we go. I'm not going to burn this today, by the way. Got a lot to do, and I think I'm probably going to use this book, this West Coast Avengers, again in another video as an example of what not to do. So I just showed you a panel that was like, hey, yeah, this was exactly what to do, showing you all of that action and very few word bubbles. So there's no action right here, and there's very few word bubbles. But I want to show you how nothing happens on this whole page. And just these symmetrical boxes. It shows real Hawkeye. He's like, Katie. And then she makes some sort of a weird movement with her hands, which means nothing. And then he says, remove. And then she makes another hand gesture. And he says, By the way, these are the same panels, and it's really irritating that they try to make us think that they were doing work. They're just cloning these same pictures. And she makes another hand gesture. He's like, ear, remove from ear. Oh my God, that's so much better. Hang on to your butt, America. Something's about to happen. Um, okay, nothing makes me not want to turn the page more than him saying that, than whatever he just said. Oh wow, and then she says, "Eat my sonic arrows, mask." Jeez, wait, hold on. Was that the build-up for an action scene? Oh my God, wow. That's the state of comics, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Kelly, for the good example of what not to do. And thank you, Mark Millar, for the example of what to do. I can't wait to watch this show. I might actually even put this book on my pull list. I'm not sure. I don't want to spend too much money on books. I'd rather just watch the show and be done with it. But again, this is a great book. It's a big recommend from me. Space Bandits, if you like Kill Bill-styled vengeance, girl power kind of shows and comics, this is for you. Hop on it. Look, my name's Chase. I always kind of said the same thing. You're the gateway into comics, and I say that by, hey, look, if you want to find out what kind of stories you're interested in, pick up some books and give them a try. If you're not willing to test the waters that way, watch my channel. I'll tell you what I recommend and tell you what sucks so bad. I can tell you what not to buy, but you're going to have to decide what to buy. I'll see you on the next episode. You'll have a great day.